Sara Davies, who's with Crafter's Companion, has been one busy lady. We have her Flutterby collection. We're going to show it in 2 different kits, and it's wonderful.
It is. It's an amazing collection of luxury cardstock, foils, transfers, die cuts, and stamps.
It just goes on and on. And we'll show you how to use them. Come play with us. Well, here is the first collection.
Right. We've got luxury glittered cardstock in these beautiful, gorgeous colors. We have foil rolls, which work great with these Flutterby foil transfers.
And you can see the cutting die is just exquisite. So we'll show you a project with that.
Right.
And then also coordinating stamps. So really nicely done.
We're going to use these all together.
Yeah.
There are 16 pieces in that luxury glitter cardstock.
Yeah, and they're A4 size. So that's 8 3/8 by 10 3/4, 11 3/4, something like that.
4 of these rolls.
Now this foil is pressure sensitive. It is not heat like the Go Press.
Okay.
We'll show you that in another webisode.
And 6 different images on these foil transfers. It's called Wild and Free.
Actually 6 sheets,
6
tons
sheets.
of images.
I'm sorry, that's right, 6 sheets. And definitely see the product videos for lots more detail.
Yes, and here is our first project. So you can see that we're combining that beautiful cardstock along with these transfers and just adding them there.
Isn't that
really
beautiful?
Pretty.
So I love that mix of that glitter cardstock with the foil. And doing those foil transfers, it's so easy to do.
It is.
They're done on cardstock with the butterflies, and also down below for the love greeting. So that's one of the transfers as well.
Right on there. And the inside is little, really just lovely.
And it's really delicate, just adding a little bit with that. So let me show you the transfers. One of the sheets will look like this. You're going to have all of these different images on it.
And there's 6 different sheets.
6 different sheets, and I started with one of these. I went ahead and cut out the image that I wanted so that it would just be easier for me to use it that way.
Which I think is the best way to do it.
Sure, and then you've got the front. So when you're looking at that front image, you can see where it says Flutter on there, and I know that on the back it has a plastic covering. So I have to tell you, I don't know how many times I took my little image, set it down, and started trying to transfer it to my cardstock.
That won't work, will
Very
it, Gail?
diligently, back and forth, and when I removed it, all you're going to see is a little like a light glue area, but I kept lifting it, and where is it? Where is it? Okay, remove the backing. Remove that. You can use this later if you want to. I'm going to set it off to the side. Place it on there, and then I start doing this. And
by
this
the
is
way,
included,
yeah, that handy dandy.
Included with it. And I want to mention, if you apply a lot of pressure, it's going to remove that black. I didn't like that a lot because it actually sort of comes off and gets on your card. So that's, and they suggest this, placing that acetate saved piece right on top of there. And that just makes it so that when I am applying pressure, it's not removing that black.
Now I notice you're not using the edge, you're using the flat area.
Oh yeah, I mean you can do this, it'll work too, but I'm going to get a much bigger area I'm just pressing it down like so and going all over it. Now what this is on the back side of that plastic, there's nothing black on there, it's glue. And so when I lift this image, all I'm going to see is kind of this highlight of glue on there. I've got this glue image that looks just like that butterfly. So now I'm going to lift the plastic, remove it, and when I lift this just a little bit, you will be able to see it. Oh, we had it for a second. You were able to, it's hard to focus on there, but there is this little glimmer. You can sort of see that glimmer of, you can see that highlight. Yeah. Now I have the foil. So the foil comes in rolls, and I've cut off a little piece of the foil. On one side you can see the color. On the other side you see this gray. Now do not make the mistake of thinking, I have to put it color side down. Don't do that, won't work. Because the color is actually underneath this layer on this side of clear.
And you want to see that color.
You want to see that color. So put it down so that you can see the color. You're looking at the color. Very important. Then I use my fingers first to sort of press it in place. Now you can see that little
That adhesive,
butterfly,
right.
that adhesive sticking to it. I first use my fingers to move it back and forth, and then I resort to this. And what I found is I really don't need to apply a lot of pressure. It comes off pretty quickly. I can see the areas that are being attached. They sort of lift up.
And again, you're using the flats, the stick
right,
flat.
the flat side of that stick. I'm going to make sure that I get it all over. And if I lift it off before I'm done, it's no problem. I can just set it back down and do it again. So here we go.
In fact, I can see flutter.
Yeah, I'm going to remove this. And there you go. And it's all transferred.
It's all there.
And when I lift that, you're going to see the shine of that flutter. So this looks beautiful and on black as well.
Oh, that's striking.
I really like it on black. I just think that's it. You're going to see that in just a minute on a card. But it's that simple to do. Very quick.
Again, here is the combination all done in about 1.25 inches so squares that'll be in the gallery. Tell you exactly how to do that.
Right. Very simple.
Really
Map those
pretty.
little squares.
And then these are directly on the cardstock,
Right.
as are these.
So just beautiful. I do have to point out something on the front of the card as well. When you are attaching this glitter cardstock to more glitter cardstock, you really have to use extra sticky tape.
Yeah,
to
because
make
there
it
is a
work.
texture to it.
Right.
There's a
I
bit of
tried
that.
some double-sided tapes and glue stick and some other things, and really it's the extra sticky tape that does the trick.
Moving on, here is another stunning one.
Isn't that beautiful? So really fun. There they are, the foil transfers. They were done on black cardstock and then they were cut out. So there they are on that black cardstock, cut out and foam taped in place, which I think is pretty fun.
And I have to tell you, I love this. Let's back up a little bit to see this curve. Now,
Right.
the pattern for that will be in the gallery
In the
at
gallery.
paperwishes.com.
So when you can print that pattern out, which I did, I just printed it out, and then you can cut out that area that you want to trace. So I started out with the size in the gallery, tells you the dimensions of cardstock. I added my little strips. I noticed that I didn't make this as wide as that one, but the gallery tells you the correct dimensions. Go ahead and glue those in place first, and then you can totally cut this out entirely. I just kind of did it quick here. I'm going to line, I can see through the paper to line up on that card, and then you just take a pencil and you're going to trace those lines. Really simple to do. And then when you cut along those lines, then you'll pull it apart.
Open your card first.
Yeah, well, no,
this
no,
is a piece of cardstock.
on
Okay.
the cardstock. Then I'm going to pull them apart and foam tape them in place on top of a black card. And it's such a beautiful look like that. I just
Striking.
love that. One thing I also want to mention is that the stamp set that was used here is part of the collection, and I actually stamped it using flitter glue and then applied the foil. So it's the same process.
Brilliant woman.
Put the flitter glue onto
Yeah.
the stamp it in place, and then place your foil, and then rub it on and remove. And there you
Lovely.
go. So that's the front. On the inside, just a little more of those foil transfers.
I like the words inside
Right.
the butterflies. That's
I just
nice.
think that's so unique. Okay.
Okay, we have another for this group.
Yeah.
And look at that. How beautiful.
So beautiful. And this was done, first of all, you've got using the die cuts, but placed on acetate so you can see through just to a piece of cardstock on the inside. This is a little bit larger card. This is a 6-inch by 6-inch card.
Square.
So it's a little specialty size, but that die
So the
cut,
cutting die, yeah.
the cutting dies, which actually comes in 2 pieces like this. So you can use it, you can use, do this on one side and then flip it over and do it on the other side and get the same look. And they show that on the packaging. But you can also use the other side, put them together, and come up with this window. They are made, if I turn this over you can see, they are made to line up together just like so, and that's what was done with this. I want to mention that with this glitter cardstock, you're really going to want to use the precision base plate to get all of those little areas cut through all the way. Use your regular sandwich in between there with your material and your die cuts, but the precision base plate is really going to give you a nice surface for cutting through that heavy-duty glitter cardstock. The next thing that was done is it was placed on acetate just like this. So it was placed on acetate, and you can use a double-sided tape on the other side to attach it. I folded over a tab and that is going to be attached on the back of cardstock. So once it's on that acetate, the acetate is attached to the back of the card, then it will lift up like so. And then all you have to do, and let me just show you, I'm going to keep that in place, is lift this up to know right where you want to put your ink. And I just started inking behind the wreath area and behind the butterflies and the flowers. And when you're all done, you have this gorgeous look. And of course you can stamp the from the sentiments in there. I want to show you something that I did that you can see here. You can see these little lines. I thought I was being smart when I set this down. I made some little pencil marks so I'd know right where all of those that little wreath opening was. Oh, isn't that a smart idea? And then I added the ink, and once you ink over those pencil lines, you're not getting that off. So I don't suggest that. You can totally see, just lift it up, add ink, put it back down, and you know right where it is. But I do love those that stamp set that has all of those different greetings on it, because, and let me just show you, it has quite a few greetings, and they go really well together in this collection. Live your dreams, your wings already exist, all you have to do is fly. So great combinations of those, plus I hid that one right behind. So that is the end of our first set. Now we're going to go on and show you the second set.
Well, as we promised, here is the second set of the Flutterby collection, and this has different things.
It does. It has cardstock again, but it has mirror cardstock and foiled cardstock, plus a stamp and die set, a set of butterfly stamps, and 2 more little stamps here, which are really beautiful.
So we'll get into how to use these
cutting dies,
right? Okay. Okay. So we're going to scoot this away and bring this in, and let's flip through that book.
Let's look through the luxury foiled card pad. Now there are 24 pieces in here. And what's beautiful about this is the actual cardstock is pearlescent. So it's kind of hard to see that. We're really going to have to tilt it a little bit.
Yeah.
But the cardstock is pearlescent, and the foiling, now this is the white foiling, a little bit harder to see, but then we have this beautiful kind of iridescent foiling.
I can see that.
And on that pearlescent cardstock. So that's not just white cardstock, it's pearlescent. And then you get, all the way in the front, you're going to get silver foiling as well. So you get those same designs 3 different ways. White, iridescent, and foiling.
Gotcha. Okay, so
beautiful.
How to use that perhaps? Well, this is a center step card. This was done with the center step template. And will you bring in those 2 cutting dies, or just the one actually? Yeah. Right. So we'll flip it over, and you can see that one creates a border. We'll show you that in a minute, but this is the one we're looking at. And so this was die cut out of the silver dot, but also out of the mirror.
Right. So you've got the die cut areas, and now those areas are evacuated out of this white piece, and then it's backed with the mirror cardstock, and that's the other in this set. This collection is 4 different colors of mirror cardstock.
Now, if you were to also cut it out of the mirror cardstock, this is what you can do with all those butterflies. And I love them being larger at the bottom and going smaller as they flutter away.
Debbie actually foam taped those on there, so they really, you can even see the little shadows. So it's just beautiful. I love this script dazzles down there at the bottom, the long greetings.
So we'll back up a little bit because I want to show you the inside too. So this was made out of black cardstock, again using the template. And then on the inside, this is the piece that was die cut and created all of the butterflies.
Just really a fun back and forth mix. And so I love this cardstock. So it's got, here are the really large dots which were actually at the bottom of the cardstock, and then on the front you get the smaller dots. So really fun.
Neat, very, very fun. Okay, now the second cutting die that's in that set is the border. And here is where it was used, and also backed on the mirror cardstock.
Right.
And then the stamp set that you talked about, this is on the mirror, but using white embossing powder.
Right.
Very pretty.
It is beautiful. And that stamp set, there are 8 pieces in that stamp set. You're getting some solid areas, and then you're getting, it looks to me like they are matching. You can place those, so they are layering stamps, so just beautiful.
And then on the inside, just one of them, and the dazzles were used, and you'll see that in the gallery, which ones were done.
Right, and I just want to show that mirror cardstock is so beautiful. There's 4 different colors there, and all those beautiful jewel tones in this collection.
And this is using the teal, and this is that giant butterfly. Now it's 4¼ inches across, and it only has the cutting dies on the outside edges. And look what you can do to make a beautiful gatefold card. And isn't that fun? Look at that.
And you've got that beautiful iridescent mirror pearlescent cardstock in the center. You've got the foiled cardstock, or the mirror cardstock, on the outside. So with that set comes that big, beautiful, large butterfly stamp. And like you mentioned, these 2 cutting dies, and they're just open at the ends. I'm going to show you briefly how that works. So the way Debbie created this card is she took 2 12-inch long pieces of cardstock. Dimensions are in the gallery, and she folded one on the left side and one on the right side. Again, check gallery for dimensions. And in the center, she anchored them together. So now you've got a card like that with a gatefold in the middle. And then she stamped on each side, this side and this side. Now I've got one of these pieces that she did, so that here it is, it's going to fold in the center just like so, and she stamped and embossed right on that scored line here. So you've got that beautiful stamped embossed image, and then you take your cutting dies. Now we've got 2, and you just match them up to the edge of that butterfly. So this is the one that's going to go on the left, and the other cutting die is going to go on the right, but it's going to go on the opposite end of your card, way over there on the other end. So I'm just going to leave this here and show that once you cut it, it's only going to cut like so. And you're going to have to cut it the rest of the way just to make that just so. And if we look at the card, we can see that Debbie just sort of cut it up toward the top of that card to make it even with there. And then she backed certain areas with that mirror cardstock.
And I do think it was brilliant of her to have the butterfly complete. I mean, that's just such a fun surprise to see that opening. And then you have the foiled cardstock in the center. So excellent use of everything. I think this is a great thing to remember.
It is.
And a little bit of dazzles there and on the inside.
So set 2 in the Flutterby collection with all of those beautiful elements. You get 24 pieces in that pad and 28 in the mirror cardstock. Plus you can get all of these other elements.
So lots of butterflies fluttering around, you can see, and we'll bring you more from Crafter's Companion and Sara Davies.
All right.
See you later.